What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to do a quick little video 3D printing a mount for our new AIM MXG data logger. We're going to print something to hold this mount right in this area, so that way after a session with the door closed I can just come and hook right into it without having to remove anything. It'll be nice and easy, easily accessible. Alright, so we're kind of doing some, I guess, just preseason maintenance. Just last night I got the email that our second race at New Jersey Motorsports Park has been canceled. So I got about 6 weeks until our next race up at Lime Rock. Fingers crossed that one will happen. But is what it is at this point. Kind of gives me a little bit more time. I should have the flat floor done by then, but I figured a neat little thing would just be, tie up loose odds and ends. We're already doing all of our, our oils. We're doing our coolant, new belts, new window net. All those things you kind of have to do once you start racing your car and it gets a couple years old and stuff. I guess gets out of date or whatever. So yeah, so this data port, this MXG, we did a video about that a little while ago. I'll put a tag up here of that. So we're just going to kind of take some measurements, design something on the computer on Onshape, and print it out. Just kind of get that loose end tied up. Thought it might make a cool little video. Alright, so first thing we're going to want to do is measure the diameter of the bar we're putting it on. Let's see. I guess that is, what is that? 1.5 inches. So keep in mind this tube is not a it's not a mandated tube for the classes I run. Certain classes it is, so make sure any tube diameters are like proper for your class. But I'm under 3,000 pounds, so 1.5 inches is technically legal. The rest of the cage is 1 3/4 inches, but just in case anybody's wondering why I have 1.5 inch tube across the front. So 1.5 inches for that. We want to take a measurement of the hole. Alright, a little hard to read, but it looks like 0.605. Whoops. Alright, so 1.5 inches, 0.605. Alright, so just two little notes. Yeah, I guess from here on out, we're going to have to clean up. This was left over from the old bracket from the cutoff switch. Used to be on this side. Still got to run a cable to this side, but we'll do that a little bit later. Yeah, so now let's just hop on the computer and kind of, see what kind of makes sense as far as what'll fit, what'll be easy enough to print, and let's see what we come up with. 3D printed a little hammock beer holder, cup holder thing too. All 3D printed. That's kind of cool. You gonna let me know how it works? You're on video right now.
I know.
I'm gonna use it to sell 1 million of these things now. Alright, so the print is started. It's about a 2.5 hour print or something. 3D printers aren't like the quickest things, but you know, it's kind of cool that I can just print when I need, like you just saw the cup holder for the hammock. But what we're gonna do while that's going, we still got a ton of other things to do. We're gonna hook up this GPS unit that, you know, kind of goes with everything and feeds a whole bunch of information to that. This is one of the through the roof kinds. I'll show you that in a second. So let's get this out and kind of install. All right, so as you can see, you know, it goes to the Smarty Cam, and it's the roof model. So this is kind of it in an exploded view. So you got the antenna, the thread, and then you draw a hole right through the roof of your car, rather than having the other model. You see a lot of the wire comes out of the back. So if you put it up on the roof, you got to kind of, or like put it off to the side and sneak the wire in, or you know, something. So this, I think they're new-ish. But yeah, you know, if you got a closed cockpit car, it's a lot nicer. So yeah, we just got to kind of drill a hole and run a wire. Alright, so we're going to try and do approximately center. I'm not going to get too bent out of shape one way or the other. And I'm going to go center, so 22, so kind of right around the part. This roof is actually wrapped in vinyl, so that makes that one easy. Front to rear. 42, so like 21. I think that should be good. I can't really see any advantage or disadvantage of it like forward or backwards or whatever. I think just centered, so that way when the GPS hooks up, we know we're measuring center of the car. So we'll go right there, not think too much more about it. The other thing worth noting is there is like a rubber seal around this and this O-ring. So once you go underneath with the washer, you know, it should seal up and I shouldn't have any water issues. This light's been awesome. I'll put a link to this light below. This is something I should have got like when I started working on cars. But anyways, yeah, you can see where we come through. I got the 4 meter of wire because I wasn't quite sure where I was gonna put the antenna. So I got 4 meters of wire to go from here to my Smarty Cam here. So yeah, I didn't really know where I was gonna mount the camera or the antenna, or you know, you can always get shorter wire. So I'm just gonna kind of use it. I could always kind of like move the Smarty Cam, maybe put it more forward or something, or whatever. If I really wanted to take the Smarty Cam and point it like backwards at the wing or whatever, having a little extra cable isn't a big issue. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of hook this up and tidy up some wires. Get in there. Alright, here's the finished part. Should release all right. Yep. There we go. All right, so I pulled these off of the build plate yesterday, and as you can see, I kind of tried to run a screw through it, and you can see that it ended up cracking right there. Let's see if we get it facing the light, because there's not much material right here. So I think that has to do with being printed sideways. Hole diameters get a little bit like funny on a 3D printer, as opposed to if it was printed like this, it can do, you know, holes a little bit more accurately. So what I did was I reprinted it like this. So if we put the two side by side, I kind of just copied what I did on this one. It just gives us a little bit more, you know, material here for the threads to cut into the plastic. So, you know, there's a ton of options. Not a ton, but a couple. You can do like threaded inserts, but you usually need even more material than that. This is only holding the data port, so using like a coarse thread screw to cut its own threads into the plastic should be plenty. So yeah, at this point, I think we're about ready to go. We're just gonna kind of get it screwed on in, you know, a couple minutes to finish this little project up. tighten them by hand just to get a little bit of a feeling for it. I don't want to tighten them so much that the threads just pull the plastic out. I can actually crank on these pretty hard. Alright. Yeah, I can't rotate the bracket at all. So, now this. Now it happened in time lapse, so you may not have caught it, but I came outside and I mic'd the outside of this nut right here to make sure I have enough clearance for it to fit, you know, not hit here and everything. Alright, so one, I guess, little bit of a snag. I printed this bracket 1/8 of an inch thick, and with the thickness of this behind it, there isn't really enough room for this cap to go on. I do like that it's kind of tethered so you don't lose it, and since we race in the rain, it's probably a good idea to make this functional. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull that off, put this through one of the screws, and so that way it'll still hang here, but that little tiny bit of extra room will just make it all work out. Tethered. Alright, so now we got plenty of room so this little waterproof cap can go on. There you go, now we're good. Job done. The door closed, easy enough just to reach in, take the cap off, plug in, and we're set. Alright guys, so that's about it for this one. Quick little project of some little loose odds and ends I need to, finish up on the car. Yeah, if you like this kind of stuff, please hit that subscribe button. I'll put a link to our 3D printer in the description below. You can do a lot of cool things with 3D printers. I did a couple of videos in the past, but if you're interested in that thing, there's tons of other people way more knowledgeable than me on 3D printing. So yeah, as always guys, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one.